Had to upgrade my little pink book. It weren't cutting it anymore. There've been loads of names. So much West Ham transfer rumours this week. There's not enough space in the pink book, so I've had to go bigger and better. I'm probably not the only person that's decided to go bigger and better this week, but possibly the only one that's done it in relation to a pink notebook. Anyway, you'll be pleased to know I'm only joking. The pink book notebook's still here with all the transfer rumours in it, ready to rock and roll. And this is just a blank diary, actually. There's nothing in here. I don't write anything in it. I know you're thinking, well, why have you got it? It usually sits up there. Do my work for the day, put the pink book away. The big diary comes out, goes on the desk. And it's just so I look busy and organised. I am busy and organised, believe it or not. But how would people know I am? That's what this does. This makes me look busy and organised. It's perception. Perception is everything in life, isn't it? Anyway, shall we get on with the show? I agree. Welcome to the West Ham Transfer Rumour Show, and we're going to kick it off with Aaron Hickey. Now, as you guys know, I love Hickey. Not that kind, not the one that Gonzo gave me after the Sevilla game, but Aaron Hickey of Bologna and Scotland. And I know you're thinking, Scotland, of course he is. This guy's biased, favouritism. I mean, you'd be correct. I support Scotland, so yeah, I am probably a little bit biased, but I'm going to try and take off my tartan specs. Never seen tartan specs, but I'm going to take them off anyway. And let's talk about him, because he's perfect for West Ham. I know what you're thinking. You said that about Calvin Bassey. They both are, but for different reasons. I think Aaron Hickey's... There's three things here for Hickey. There's the player, the person, and the experience. I guess the deal as well. So there's four things. So as the person, I mean, this is a 16-year-old broke through in the Hearts team and thought, you know what, I'm going to struggle to stay in this team, so I'm going to go elsewhere and I'm going to get as much minutes as I can and I'm going to have a new experience. So off he went to Italy, he went to Serie A. And that leads us on to sort of the experience that Aaron Hickey's got in comparison to Longelo, who's our current left back at the under-23s. Aaron Hickey's younger than him. Longelo's only really played for the under-23s at the club, whereas Aaron Hickey's been doing it in Serie A and doing it to an incredibly high standard as well. There's big clubs after him. West Ham, Arsenal, get onto them. Celtic, AC Milan, all being linked to him for that reason. But also, we've got the player as well. West Ham fans would love him. Going forward, really good. Now, when I talk about going forward, I'm talking about in relation to his positioning and his dribbling. His discipline as well to some extent, but not his final ball. That's the one area, that's his biggest weakness. His final ball needs a lot of work. But that's okay, that's fine. Defensively, really good, really strong in the tackle, really good in the tackle. Again, defensively, really disciplined, positioning is really good. But his big weakness is his final ball delivery. And that needs a little bit of work. But that's why he's linked to West Ham, AC Milan and Arsenal, and not Manchester City, Liverpool and Bayern Munich. You know, he's pretty much got everything else. He's the right age as well. 19 years old. Well, he's 20 in June, which is, what, 4 days away? Let's just call him 20 for the sake of the video. 20 years old. I think that's exactly what we need. Because I don't want rid of Aaron Cresswell now. I don't think we need to replace Aaron Cresswell immediately. But what we do need is competition for Aaron Cresswell next season. Somebody that's the succession plan to Aaron Cresswell at West Ham United that would eventually become our first choice left back. And Hickey is of an age that has vast experience for that age as well, but wouldn't necessarily immediately command going straight into the starting 11. Approximately 20 million, I think, is the price tag. There's a lot of talk. I mean, 2 weeks ago, it looked like he was signing for Arsenal. Everything seemed done. All the rumours were suggesting it is a done deal. He will be joining Arsenal. They sort of disappeared. Then in the last 24 hours or so, he's been linked to a few clubs. With West Ham and Arsenal, the rumours are that West Ham and Arsenal both bid for him, but we've bid less than Arsenal. I mean, you can just imagine that conversation, can't you? Mr. David Sullivan. David Sullivan's on the phone. Hello, Mr. Bologna. I don't know his name. We'd like to bid for Aaron Hickey. Yeah, sure. Arsenal bid 20 million. So what would you like to bid? 15 million, please. I'm just going to stop changing the hand. You can guess what's what, right? But that's less than what Arsenal bid. Arsenal bid 20, you're bidding 15. Yeah, that's correct. But we're not going to accept that because it's less than Arsenal's. Yes, I'm aware of that. But perception is everything, isn't it? At least if we bid for him, we look like we're trying to sign him. We look busy to the fans. The fans are thinking, getting excited about Aaron Hickey. But we're not actually going to try and buy him. But we're going to look like we're trying to buy him. Do you get me? Anyway, I just thought it was fun. So yes, that's the rumours. The rumours are we've bid for Aaron Hickey, but less than Arsenal. I don't believe them, by the way. For what it's worth, I don't think we'll see Hickey at West Ham. Sad Gio, but we'd love him at West Ham. What we got next? Yves Bissouma of Brighton. Now, while I have reservations over James Ward-Prowse being the right midfielder for West Ham, or the right midfielder to partner Declan Rice, I don't have that with Yves Bissouma. I think he's the perfect midfielder for West Ham and the perfect midfielder to partner Declan Rice. Now, the valuation is somewhat of a strange one, 30 million. I think I'm getting crap, by the way, at these valuations. I used to think I was quite good at it. I mean, I know you're all going to disagree with me here, that's fine, but I used to think my valuations of Premier League players wasn't too bad. But in the last couple of weeks, whenever I do videos and I say, oh, I think the X pounds or Y pounds, everybody disagrees, so I should really stop, but I'm not. But I think 30 million for Yves Bissouma seems really low. I don't know what I would put on him as a price tag, 50 million maybe? So at 30, that's what we've been linked to, by the way, that's the rumour. I'm not making it up. We don't make the rumours up at Hammershot, we just discuss them. We love him at West Ham though. Rocked up at Brighton as a defensive midfielder, was fantastic at that, and he's really evolved, very similar to Declan Rice at West Ham actually. He's a complete midfielder now, can contribute going forward. A couple of months ago Declan Rice did a piece with BT Sport, and in that he had to put his top 5 Premier League midfielders, and he listed Yves Bissouma as one of them. I mean, he was the 5th person to name, but when you think about all the midfielders in the Premier League, bear in mind we've got De Bruyne, Fabinho, Thiago, all them, Bissouma is in that 5, which is a huge compliment from Declan Rice in my opinion. But we love him at West Ham. Do I believe it? Not necessarily. I wish I did, but it would be quite exciting then, but I don't really. You've basically just tuned into me saying that all the rumours are bollocks, haven't you? So, sorry about that. Anyway, what we've got next, before we do that, this video is sponsored by the One Football app, and it is actually the best way to keep up to date with all the transfer rumours, because I'm not the best way, there's nothing in it. But the One Football app has absolutely everything. When you download it for free, via the link in the description below, so they know you've come from Hammers Chat and they continue to support the channel. So thank you to everybody that's currently downloaded the One Football app. But when you do download it, it'll say, excusez-moi, whom is your favourite team? And then you click West Ham, and then when you click on your West Ham badge, it has all the news, and you just scroll down and you click on the headline you want to read the article, click back and keep scrolling until you find something else you fancy reading. I know I make it sound like it's a really simple app, but it is a really simple app, and it's also fantastic as well. The football app for the football fan, in my opinion anyway. Links in the description, pinned comments. Get it downloaded, it's free. Right, next up we've got Cornet of Burnley. 17.5 million release clause now that Burnley have been relegated. I mean, there was that story, I don't know if it was true, about a month ago, wasn't there? That he thought he was on loan at Burnley or something. Like he thought he was away back to Lyon in the summer, and that was a loan move, and they almost had to explain to him, saying, sorry mate, you're signed permanently. So I don't know how true that is. It might just be one of those things somebody makes up it, then everybody just assumes it's true and repeats it, and it gets bigger and bigger, then everybody believes it's true because it's said so often. But it's one of those stories that sounds a bit mental, like when George Weah signed for Manchester City and said, I thought we played in red. I mean, sounds a bit bonkers, doesn't it? Anyway, as for the player, 17.5 million. Do you know something? I would love him at West Ham, and if we were signing him from France, I'd perhaps have a little bit of a reservation. But there's any club, or say any previous manager in the Premier League, to get Cornet ready for David Moyes, it's Sean Dyche, isn't it? Right, he's gone into Burnley, and you know Sean Dyche has got him used to the Premier League, he's got him used to doing the defensive side of the game and whatever, so he's almost like moulded him into a David Moyes player to some extent. I think 17.5 million is a no-brainer. Had he not had that release clause and Burnley stayed up, and I said to you, what do you value him at? And I'm asking you because I'm crap at them these days. What do you value Cornet at? I reckon you're talking 25-30 million. I reckon. He's looked decent at Burnley. I don't think he reached the heights that people were hoping for or expecting. But in the many games, I know they got relegated, but in many games he was their best goal threat. It's probably not difficult, I think. I mean, sometimes I watched Burnley and I thought, you know something, I could look like their biggest goal threat if I got a game from Burnley. I didn't really. But, you know what I'm trying to say. It's not that difficult to look like the best goal threat at Burnley. We'd love him at West Ham. Can play on the left wing, can also cover left back, can cover striker. He's very versatile. I think he ticks a lot of the boxes. So for him at West Ham at 17.5 million, yes please. Do I believe it? Not really. I'm sorry, I just don't believe any of these rumours. Right, here's a player that I wouldn't mind people discussing below. If you know this player, I want to hear about him because I don't know him. But it's not. The reason I'm going to talk about this rumour is because it ties in with another story that we've seen. So the player is Castellanos of New York City. We've all seen him linked to West Ham in the last week. 44 goals, 17 assists in 102 games over in the MLS. Only 23 years of age. So he's been linked to West Ham quite a lot this week, actually, from a lot of English sources and American sources too. Probably a domino effect of the American ones going first, and the English lot picked it up and started reporting it as well. But he's been linked to West Ham a lot, and I don't know him. I used to watch MLS football about 10 years ago when Bradley Wright Phillips was like the MVP of the league. It's been a while since I've watched MLS football, so I couldn't tell you anything about him. The one thing that makes me a little bit wary, I guess, is that if he was that good, Man City would be all over him, surely. But anyway, so if you're into MLS football and you know about this player, I mean, 1 goal every 2 games nearly is not a bad record. Put it in the comments below, because I'm genuinely intrigued to have a read. But the reason I'm bringing him up is because I saw a story today that West Ham aren't going for a marquee striker. They were actually going for a younger striker to be backup to Antonio next season. Now, I don't necessarily believe this story. I'll tell you why. Because Moyes doesn't really want to buy backup players, does he? Moyes has pretty much told us, I'm only going to buy players that's good enough to get into our starting 11. So it would take a change of principles from Moyes, a change of strategy in the transfer market if he thinks, actually, I'm going to go with Antonio next season and get somebody in young that can eventually take his place. Now, I don't necessarily have an issue with that, by the way. I think Antonio's a good striker. I think he's had a tough season. And I think what we have been lacking this season is somebody like that rumour, which is that they can play as and when required. And I don't necessarily think we need the marquee striker. Now, obviously, Ollie Watkins, but I do wonder perhaps Broha comes into this. Obviously, Gonza did the video earlier, we're still being linked to him for around about 25 million, which I think is a bargain. I know his form tailed off at the end of the season, but obviously that's a bad thing if you're trying to buy him. He's not looked great, but I think that's a good thing for West Ham or a club that do buy him, because I think it's driven his price down a little bit. I think it's also made him gettable. I think had he maintained the first few months of the season for the rest of it, I think Chelsea would be saying, no, he's not for sale, we're keeping him, thank you very much. But if you do want him, he's 40 million. I told you I'm rubbish with valuations. But now, because of that poor second half of the season at Southampton, I think Chelsea have probably looked at it and thought, I don't think he's going to cut it here. And he's got a little bit cheaper. So perhaps he is the younger striker that the report is alluding to. But I just thought it was an interesting one, actually. And part of the reason I don't believe it, though, is because it would take... I mean, how do you get this information? Do you know, we hear about Neef Agard. We believe we're in for him and it's getting closer to signing, so on and so forth. There's lots of ways that can get leaked. It can get leaked from the French side of things. It can get leaked from the players' side of things. It's not necessarily the West Ham side of things that leak the information that West Ham are after Aguerd. Right, fine. But for the whole report about West Ham wanting a backup striker to Antonio next season, there's only one place that can come from, and that's the club. And I just find it difficult that that type of information gets leaked under David Moyes. There's certainly leaks under David Moyes, okay? There is. But again, I do think it mainly comes from elsewhere rather than from the club itself, or certainly David Moyes and his management team himself. But that's just my theory anyway. My theory about someone else's theory. So there you have it. Anyway, we'll leave it there for today. I could keep on going. There's loads of transfer rumours, but I don't want to. Had a little bit of a break from transfer rumours yesterday. Talked about Stuart Pearce and the coaches. Then did a tier list video last night. They don't always do the best view-wise, but I'm aware of that. But I quite enjoy doing them, and it sort of triggers opinions and discussion. And I like hearing other people's opinions that are different from mine. Apart from valuations, I like them. I prefer everybody agreed with me then, because it means I'm right, and I like being right. Tomorrow's video, if all goes well, I'm away to try and edit videos. It's probably going to go wrong. Right, I've learned how to do some stuff, editing, the basic stuff, but I'm away to do some Photoshop stuff, so I'm stepping up. If Charlie's watching this video, Charlie's thinking, go on, lad. You've not done it for 6 years, it's about time, but I'm going to try. But tomorrow's video, if all goes well, is a squad list video. What West Ham's squad for next season looks like today. In regards to the players, because obviously the club confirmed earlier that Yarmolenko, Fredericks, Martin and Noble are not going to be kept on next season. We knew that. It's no surprise. Our homegrown quota, we've obviously got to have 8 homegrown players, so how many are we sitting on? And what youngsters need registered next season? So Ben Johnson wasn't registered this season because of his age, but obviously it has to be next season. But he's not the only one. There's another couple as well. So we're going to go through all that tomorrow in that video. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like, comment, subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'll catch you in a bit.